All right, everyone, here we go with an energy weather update. I like to open the week with these when I can. And there's, we did the Mercury reading the other day, and we talked about there's optimism and there's this, but there's a lack of confidence. It's like a mix of things. It's that push-pull thing we talked about in that reading. I got a little of it here. We're going to talk about the surrounding energies. It's going on for, I would say, about a week. I would say right up through about the weekend. But it's going to hit you all at different times because you're all moving at different speeds on your timeline. There's a tendency in the energy right now with the way the planets are pulling on the core energy and the way this new cycle is to overcommit yourself a little bit. Okay? And you might really want to do something and then decide, well, I think I can do it. I think I can. Whatever. There's that side of it. That's fine if you feel passionate about something. But there's also a side where there's this FOMO, fear of missing out. 5 of Pentacles in the surface energy here, crossed by the Strength card. I could do it. No, I could. You're going to try to juggle plates like you wouldn't believe in this energy. You're going to try to do 5 different things. You're going to try to please other people. If you're not normally a people pleaser, you might be in this energy. It's a fear of missing out, so you're going to muster it up, right? You're going to pull up your big boy, big girl pants and do it. I don't want to miss this. Oh, I don't want to miss that either. You can't do everything. This energy will make you think you can, and I'm going to show you why. And you feel like the gallant knight, right? Yeah, it's because of that. Because of that frequency of energy. And if you know that the Mercury reading ended with the devil, but if you watch the extended, right? There's a reason I said in that title of the extended, I talked about the Death Star. I said, what if the Death Star in Star Wars was a hospital? I mean, aside from the fact they'd have to rename it, that's not a good name for a hospital. Where are you taking me as the ambulance is cruising? We're taking you to the Death Star. What? The fuck? No. That kind of thing. Aside from the fact it would have to be renamed. You've got a lot of power here. Okay? You do. You've got a lot of energy at your disposal. The energy pool is thick. Use it wisely. Don't listen to goats. Okay? Yeah, you could do everything. It's no problem. You got to be everybody's hero. No, you don't. You only got to be your own hero in this energy. And that'll shut that goat right down. All right? All right. And if you are being taken to a hospital in an ambulance and it's called the Death Star, get the fuck out of there. Okay? Right now. All right, here we go. Let's shuffle the deck. 3 cards and a bottom card. Let's talk about this energy. So, I mean, that's just the gist of it. That's just the surface energy. We're going to get into it here. We'll see what else the energy wants to tell us. It's a general reading. It may or may not resonate with you, but if the title brought you in here or you found Steve's Love Tarot, you're here for a reason. Unless you're Flem the Parrot, then you're here for the tray of peanuts that somebody left here on the desk, and that seems to be the focus of attention. So if you're not here for a tray of peanuts, you're definitely here for a reason, some other reason around the energy. It's timeless, like I said. You're all moving at different speeds on your timeline. I'm not a fucking Time Lord, but this is the energy. Same applies with your horoscope. You might read a horoscope and go, well, shit, that didn't come true. People are so quick to say, well, that astrologer sucks. That didn't come true. It might come true 2 months later. You may not be in that energy yet. The energy is there. It's primed, but you won't hit it yet. Think about cars on the freeway, each going different speeds, right? Everybody going to reach the sign at some point, but they're going to reach it at different points. It depends what kind of free will decisions you've made in life. Some people have made a lot of bad decisions and they've sidetracked their own destiny. I mean, they've left their car stranded on the side of Destiny's freeway for a while, turned down wrong roads. Can't account for that. But I can tell you, generally speaking, because it's in the surface energy, and I know that the Earth's magnetic field is having an effect here, which affects our moods, you might be inclined this week to take on more than you can handle, whether your timeline is up to it or not. But I do want you to understand, if nothing else, if it helps out other people that do these readings or astrologers, right? Be careful about, well, that was my horoscope yesterday, it didn't come true. That doesn't mean shit. Okay? Actually, it says a lot about you. It says you're not right there on your timeline, or that astrologer is ahead of you, or you're behind the energy. You're behind, things. If anything, it talks about your free will decisions. Some people are way ahead of things. It's like, Steve, this happened a year ago. It's possible. Bottom of the deck is the 3 of Cups. It's the environmental energy around you. Fueling that is the Hangman. People are perceiving you as stoic in a way. You're not. You're mellow. I mean, there could be something great. We'll take this. Let's say it was a celebration energy. Okay, let's just say it was. It was everybody's yelling and screaming, woohoo. You're sitting in the corner, very, whatever. You're taking a very laid back attitude towards things. All right, a little bit. Inside, you're probably a cauldron. But anyway, the energy you're radiating out, very different. All right, let's go. This is crossing the center card. I'm going to pull 3 cards. Here we go. Five of Cups. Yeah, you don't want to miss out on anything. There's this. The devil energy can get attached to this. It's that goat from the pre-shuffle that makes you think if you miss this, it's over. That's it. It won't come back. It's a little bit of that. We've had that before. This is a little different. This is about you taking on more than you can handle to try and people please. So it's in the other direction. Okay? But yeah, some of that energy we got in a previous reading is still here a little bit. That devil that makes you think if you don't buy the dinosaur dung, I think I use this as an example right now, you're screwed. Right? Some of that is there. This energy flows in the opposite direction where you just want to people please. You want to take on everything. I'll do those dishes for you. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. You're going to do everybody's chores. Right? Don't. So do not. All right? Center card. Page of Wands. What's red with the 5 of Cups? The Hermit. I got a lot of that here. I got a lot of that. I got this. These two are red together. I'll put it this way. It's what I said, the way I described it. Don't take me literally, just catch my drift. But the way I described it, you're willing to take on everybody's chores, right? You're going to juggle too many things all at once. The reason you're doing that is strange here. Just the idea, the thought of sitting still and being bored and being quiet for a moment is not appealing. Okay? It is not at all. So it probably has something to do with Mercury going direct, but it has a lot to do with the other things that are going on around it. Saturn's involved too. Some lessons in it, of course, But let's clarify a couple of things. Let's grab the witches here. The idea of this is like my little kid, right? You try to keep a 12, 13-year-old boy locked up in the house. It's crazy. All kinds of bad shit. All kinds of shit's going to get broken, right? They got to go outside and play, or things get crazy. They start jumping around and paint start coming off the walls, lamps get broken, things like that. The idea of sitting still and being bored does not appeal to you. Okay, all right, that's fine. Let's find out why. That devil's attached to this 5 of Cups. Let's pull on it. All right. Hey, I'm just trying to help you get the most out of the energy. Some of this might come up in your horoscopes too. It's possible there's a lot of astrological alignments, planets pulling on the energy that are causing this to happen. But a good chunk of it, actually, in the mood sense, right, is the Earth's magnetic field. It's not something astrologers account for, but it is something energy readers like me account for. It's a very powerful energy that affects us. It always affects our mood. It's very, very, and it's been the Earth's magnetic field's been being crazy, this in recent months for sure. Mostly because the sun's energy is on an 11-year high. Every 11 years or so it peaks. All right, let's go. Sort of, in a way, it follows Jupiter around. Jupiter cycles 11.8, something like that, 11.7, something around that. What's going on with the, anyway, not important, but the Earth's magnetic field is playing a role, which means you're moody. The Wheel of Fortune. The moment you start to feel bored, sad, regretful, you do something. You might even do something crazy to turn it around. What's on top? 3 Swords. You don't want to feel this. Whatever this is, you don't want anything to do with it. You're probably yelling at your screen right now. Steve, it's fucking Monday. I don't want any bad readings this week. I don't want any bullshit. I want roses and rainbow. I want rainbow, unicorn, fucking tarot. That's probably what you want. You might pass Steve's Love Tarot by and go find that lady. I don't know what medication she's on, but she could turn the worst cards into the most incredible reading you've ever heard. Right? I mean, you might. It's all a crock of crap because that's not how energy works. But at the same time, it might be what you need this week. All right? It could be. You want nothing to do with this. You don't want to feel it. You don't want a dark night of the soul. You don't want to go deep. You don't want anything. It's a little of what I said when I pulled the pyramid on you at the end of the Mercury direct reading in Pisces, right? I said something about, I know I said something about that Cyndi Lauper song. What was it? Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I said it could be girls or guys. It could be a little of that. Okay, going on here. Why is 3 swords here? The King of Cups, which was at the bottom of this deck when I picked it up. Yeah, you don't want to feel this week. This energy, well, no, I won't say this week. It might only affect some of you for a few days. The effect of it should be about a 5-day period. That's probably what I'll put in the title. But again, you don't want to, there will be a time, a day or two this week, sometime in this week or next week, again, whatever, where you just don't want to feel. You don't want to feel this. You don't want to, you just want to have some fun. You don't want to do a dark night of the soul. You don't want a reading that isn't fucking roses and rainbows. I can dig it. I can dig it. It's sort of a Pollyanna sort of thing. And that's why you're choosing to do everything. Because if you sit too long, you feel that. So if you're sitting too long, you feel that. And that's why you're willing, as a byproduct of this energy, you're willing to take on everybody's chores. You're willing to take on more than you can handle. Bite off more than you can chew. I mean, do I have another pun I can throw in here? It is what it is. I'm not telling you it's not okay. It's actually fine. I'm just making you aware of the energy in case, so you don't tire yourself out. I'm telling you there's a better way to probably handle this energy than taking on more than you can chew. Perhaps you take up a new hobby. Perhaps you study something. Whatever it is, you need to keep yourself occupied. Buy a fidget spinner. I don't fucking know. But don't overtax yourself. You'll regret it in the energy that's coming up after this. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And also, if you start taking on more than you could chew, people are going to expect that going forward. There's always that risk, so be careful. But I can dig this. You don't want anything to do with that. You want roses and rainbows, and that's it. And sitting still is not an option. You want to go outside and play. Hey, good. All right. I mean, it's fine. Let's see if this... Well, you know what? I said Saturn's involved. I said there's a lesson. It's probably tied to this hermit somewhere. So let's pull on the hermit. There we go. Do what you want to do, but I think there's a better outlet for this energy. I can dig it. But I think there's a better outlet than taking on more than you can chew and doing everybody. So I'll run those errands for you. Oh, I'll do that. Oh, sure, I'll pick up your kids. Oh, it's fine. Yeah, I'll do that. Oh, no. No. Find a hobby. Take up knitting, crochet, piano. Anything but the flute. Don't take up the flute. No, I'm just kidding. Take up the flute if you want. Just don't move next door to me. Anyway. People who've been here a while remember early on I talked about it. I had a problem with the flute. I never really got into the whole, I remember when the jazz flute became popular in rock and roll, with Jethro Tull and all that. It was like a whole bunch of bands that came around where everybody had a jazz flute. I was out on that. Great songs, love the guitar. As soon as the flute starts playing, I'm out. Something about me and flute don't get along. I was probably a flute player in a past life or something, and somebody killed me with it. I don't know. What's going on with the hermit? Why is it here? Shoved a flute right up my ass. All right. Why is the hermit here? The Ace of Cups. Oh, you don't want to feel. You just want to lock that up and stick it back in the fridge. Why? What is going on? The Emperor. Yeah. Okay, I use this time wisely, and I'm going to give you a tip on how to, but first I'm going to make sure I'm right. Why is that here? Yeah. A 9 of Wands, use this time, well, what's the bridging energy? The 10 of Swords. Use this time to take stock. This is a time right now, I will tell you it's a long cycle. Well, it's a medium cycle. It's not long. Medium long, we'll call it that. It stretches from about the end of March. It began around the end of March, the second half of March, if I'm to put a calendar time on a cycle. And it runs until about the beginning of January 2026. It's an energy cycle. It's got nothing to do with astrology, although there's probably some astrology playing a role. For some of you, your ascendant might be involved. I don't know. We're not going to get into all that. But there's a cycle. And it's about clearing things out. It's about out with the old and in with the new. But it's more of a thinning the herd kind of energy. It's not, you don't replace your old car with a new one. You just get rid of the old car. You know, it's about thinning things out. It's preparing us for a new 5 to 8 year cycle that's coming up, give or take. I say 5 to 10, but I think it's probably more like 5 to 8 year. Okay, and that cycle, that's a long cycle, long, and that begins around the beginning of 2026, energy-wise, as far as energy cycles. There's energies that are around us, and then there's the astrology, which pulls on that energy and affects different things. So this is sort of talking about that. A wise way to use this opportunity, besides playing the flute or whatever, or hitting me with a flute, the wise way to use this energy is to take stock in all the stuff you got and see what you could get rid of. See what you could say goodbye to, because you'll see what's reached its end, what no longer serves a purpose, what used to make you happy but doesn't. That's what this is talking about with the sun behind it. Okay? That's a wise way to use this. And you don't have to feel so much, you know, but I can dig it. You don't want to feel anything. You just want to have, girls just want to have fun week. Knock yourself out, right? I mean, I don't know. I can dig it. It's no big deal. It probably only affects you for a couple of days, but it is what it is. Let's see if there's anything else the universe wants to tell you. Do not, a waste of this energy would be how it's probably going to be used by most people who didn't watch this reading, which is taking on all kinds of projects and more than they could chew, and you're willing to do everything for anybody. You know, perfect stranger. You'll start, for no reason, you'll go to the grocery store. And for no reason, you're not even there to buy anything. You're just there to help people get stuff off shelves. You're like the helpful greeter at fucking Walmart. You don't even fucking work there. It's that kind of energy because you just can't sit still. You feel like if you do, you'll go fucking batshit crazy. I can dig it. All right, so be cool. Use it. Here's your answer on how to use it wisely. Take some inventory, or learn the flute. One or the other. Well, don't learn. Learn the piano. That's a useful instrument. There we go. All right, there we go. One card, the crossing card. What else you want to tell these people? He came back. He came back. You knew he would. You saw the Mercury reading, right? I hope. Devil. Here it is. It's that same frequency. Oh, Page of Swords. Yeah. Do not. It's a final message. Do not listen to this devil. All right? Do not. Just anything that this energy tells you to do is going to end in disappointment and regret. All right? You may think that this energy is curing this. It's actually bringing it in. Pay attention to what I said in this reading. I'm not going to repeat myself, but this is basically reminding you that this energy is there. So pay attention also to what I said in the Mercury reading, and especially Mercury extended as well, where we really, this devil showed up. It showed up in the center of your emotions in a pyramid at the end of the reading, for fuck's sake. That was amazing. Mind-blowing. That said, it's a very important energy. So pay attention to what I said about it here. Pay attention to what I said about it in the Mercury reading. That's your reading. Again, I don't think this energy, it's sometime over the course of the week, but I don't think it affects you for more than a day or two. All right? That's your reading. I hope it was helpful. I really do. Good luck.